Greetings and salutations and welcome to another edition of the YouTube channel Too Many Plugins. I'm your host Alex. Today we're gonna look at how to set up MX Linux for a more customized desktop environment. So we're going to change some things over here to set it up a little bit to my like in this case. This is of course very subjective. Some people like different looks, but we're going to keep here in this moment we're running just a flagship, so that's MX Linux XFCE edition. You can of course also go to another desktop environment, but most of these settings can be a little bit different, depends on which desktop environment we're going to use. This came actually because of a viewer that asked how can you change the panel over here, and it's a little bit you have to go through some hoops to get there. So, and I thought actually it would be much nicer just to make a little video on how to customize a little bit the theming of MX Linux, and how you can change the panels and stuff like that. So what you need for that, first we're going to also go through a little history also here of this old CPU I'm running over here. It's actually quite interesting, the FX line, to talk a little bit about this CPU. This is a very rare CPU over here that I'm running, but that's another story. Because I think it's better to make this in a video than because otherwise I'm all the time answering the same questions in comments of people. It's much better just to make a small video, because the theming and stuff like that. And I'm going to be honest with you, MX Linux sometimes here, and I'm many years Linux user. I'm a distro hopper. I jump all the time to different distributions, so different Linux versions. So, yeah, I find still sometimes a little bit confusing here to find the things over here, and some things I think is a little bit bloated over here. Some stuff I think it's a little bit, they're trying to do a little bit too much over here. They're trying to give too many choices. But anyway, so for the viewer who was asking, how can you change the panel over here? Well, you have to go here to MX Linux, and then you have to look for the program that's over here running. And that is a Conky Manager. So you have to go for a Conky Manager. You can even write it over here. Change details, so that's MX Conky or Conky Manager. Can appear different if you run KDE or something, but this is MX Conky. Change details of desktop system monitors. That's where you need to go, and if you open that, then what you get is this program over here. And I'm running in now the Future Conky Futuristic 6, but you can just change this over here for something else, you know. So we can now take this away. You can even add more things over here. So now you get things here mixed and matched. Let's take this away. Let's take this away. Sorry, let me just push this away. So you have here now sort of a kind of a vinyl kind of thing going on over here. Let me take this away. When we do, you can put some pink robot over here. We are running, by the way, in a virtual machine in Linux Mint XFCE, is because I don't have the kernel configured yet, so OBS is not working yet in MX Linux. So that's so, and also because I have my whole OBS set up in Linux Mint XFCE, including the plugins and all the settings for OBS, just to have a better audio quality. I went just this route over here, but you can even use this one over here, so you can a little bit mix and match. Sometimes you need to take one away to make the other one disappear, but you can here mix and match different kinds of desktop monitors. So as you can see over here, let me take this one away, go to this one. Alright, I'm not seeing this one. Okay, this one is now over here. Okay, so yeah, you can just play around with it. You can also have a clock like this, and then take this one away. So yeah, let me take this away. And now we have pink this one, so this one needs to go away also. Which was the one that I had. You can go also for Elementary OS. Let me go back. back to that one again. So funky futuristic. I'm gonna go back to that one. Take this one away, and you can also go to themes over here, and then you can here add some extra theming if you want, and then you get also a different kind of theming. You see, so that is the one. We go to the widget. Let me see this one over here. I go for this one, for the futuristic, and then we have nothing else over here. Yeah, this one can go out also. This one. So that's your theming you can do. So that's a Conky Manager, MX Conky. If you go back over here, let me see. Yeah, so when you open this, then you get the Conky Manager over here. And then you click just Conky Manager. And then you can here select the theme that you have. And so the one I'm running over here is MX Futurized, the Conky Futurized 6. That's the one I'm running over here. But whatever floats your boat, you can go for something else. Here you got some other system monitoring thing going on. So yeah, there you go. So check it out. That's a Conky Manager, MX Conky, and then we're gonna change here the desktop layout. So MX Tools. Let me see. We need to go to Settings, Accessories, MX Tools, MX Conky, MX Local, Repo Manager, MX Tweak. We go to MX Tweak, and now we're gonna change the desktop the layout here of the Start menu. So that you do over here on the panel. It's now from bottom, so top to bottom you can choose, and then place it vertically, or do we want it horizontally? Well, we want it horizontally. And then we, let me see, set scale, option, apply. So now we have it here, we have it on the bottom now, and that's the one that I'm using here now. And you can here then change still the vertical, you can scale it if you want over here. So there's a lot of functions here you can still do. We have already applied it now over here, so now we have basically Linux Mint kind of XFCE kind of a desktop environment. So you can also change it. You want to have it, it's now on the bottom, we can put it also on the top. And now it's over here on the top, so you can go mental with that if you want. You can also go have it on the right part, so now it changes to over here. Bottom, top, we do bottom. So yeah, this is the one that, let me see, yeah, bottom, we can do it on the top. Yeah, so now it's over here, you see now we have it top right. Or we can also go top left. So now this is the one that it was originally. We go now top right. Now it's on the right side over here. So there you go, you can just play around with that if you want. We go left and we go bottom. And now back to here, sorry I forgot that. And now apply. And now we are back in business again. So that's the way you can do that. Then you can, of course, also you can still go mental also and change still your desktop environment. So how you do that is you go then to MX Package Installer, and then you can go here to desktop environments. And then we're now running the XFCE. Yeah, I need to put a password, but I'm not going to do that. We're now XFCE, so you can choose to Mate or Mat, Windows Mat, Mate, LXDE, KDE 5 Standard, GNOME Base, and Budgie. So that's also something you can change, but then you're basically also a lot of things start changing also because you're completely changing the desktop environment. So there you go. That's just an easy way of installing, tweaking MX Linux and set it up a little bit the way that you want it. If you put some other desktop environment, then a lot of things are going to change here also. So you can of course go much further in the tweaking. You can even start tweaking. How do you call that? So MX Tools, you can also. Oh, that's not the one. We need to tweak tool. Let me see. MX Tools. Where's the tweak tool? Conky. Some MX Tools, tweak tool. So if you go to the tweak tool over here, so you can also here change your theme over here in the tweak tool. Choose a theme and go more for a dark theme or something. Great bit dark, You can do the compositor. You can you can tweak your display settings, of course, obviously. Your super key, which is a super key, and then others over here, which is not really so interesting. You have some things else. You can quickly jump to panel, as you saw that also close. You can go to Windows Manager and change your Windows Manager, your key, your focus, and your advanced. And then you have appearance. You can do here also. You can change another style of appearance, icons, different fonts, and different settings. So there you go. MX Linux this is extremely tweakable. Of course, you can even put more tweak tools you can find in here and tweak it even more for yourself. But so far, by the way, I just allocated here to the computer only 4 gigs of RAM. It's only using 1.3. So not bad at all. And then the FX8300 we are running over here. It's, by the way, a very rare processor. It was only made for the Asian market. It came for a very short period of time. It came available also in the United States and Europe, but very little units sold in Europe and in the United States. They were only coming from Asia. FX processors have very bad reputation because it's like this. Many people don't understand. They say it's not a real 8-core, it's a 4-core. See many comments like that, but that's not true. It is a true 8-core processor. They are truly 8 cores, or if you have a 4-core, they have truly 4 cores. The only thing is with the FX processors is that they have real physical cores in there. Only the memory modules are shared between 2 cores. So if you have 8 cores, then you have in reality actually a 4-core with hyper-threading, with 4 hypercores in it. So that's basically the way you have to see it. So it is a true 8-core, but the memory modules are shared. So the memory modules inside you have actually a 4-core. So which makes the performance then actually also as a 4-core. So you can compare it to an i7, an older one, a 4-core, 8-threaded chip that has 4 physical cores and then 4 hyper-threaded cores, and then the memory modules are shared per 2 cores. So you have only 4 cores in memory performance instead of 8 cores. That's the story of it. By the way, the FX processors, they run very hot. They have very poor single core performance, single thread performance, excuse me. But in that time, very good multi-thread performance. So in multi-core applications, they actually performed really well in that time, but single core not. And the FX processors, they are very power hungry. They run very, very hot. And if you have an 8350 or 8370, all those kinds of the 8350, 8320, 8350, 8370, and 9550 and 9570. The CPUs all run to 125 watts TDP to the 9500 series go to 200 to 250 watts of TDP. So they're very power hungry. They're very, how do you call it? They get very hot. The vents get very noisy because they get hot. They consume a lot of power. only the FX 8300 not, because this is actually a very interesting part. This is like the 8320E, which is a economic version, a very low powered version. This one is only 3.3 gigahertz, but it's only 95 watt TDP. So this is very nice, is because it spends less power, it doesn't get so hot, the vents don't make so much noise, and all the other series I talk about, besides the 8300 like this one and the 8320E, are very heavy on the VRMs, so on the voltage regulators on the motherboards, and many times they burn the motherboards, they break very quickly, they burn out on those processors, because they pull really a lot of amps through the voltage regulators, the VRMs. That's why that's why the FX has a bad reputation, because they run hot, they're power hungry, the vents make a lot of noise, and if you have not like this a 95 watt TDP version or the 8320E, but you have any of the other versions, 125 watts and the 9500 series up to 250 watts TDP, you consumes a lot of electricity, and they run very hot, and they put a lot of stress on the motherboard, so the motherboards burn out very quickly. This one, I have it since 2013. I bought it for $110. I use it every day, and I have, let me see, one time I have changed the motherboard. So it had an ASRock Extreme motherboard that I had for many years, and a couple of years ago that one broke down, but it wasn't really the VRMs, it was just something else on it broke down, but I used it for many years, and now I'm using the same of ASRock also, a 970M Pro motherboard. So that's the story a little bit of this one. This one is very rare, only in Asia not. So in Asian countries in the East, they were widely available on the market, but in Europe and the United States, 8300 is a very rare processor. And I've chosen it in the time because of the low TDP, the low noise, and the low stress on the VRMs. And it served me. It has it's really the second motherboard it has. Since 2013, I use it every day, and it haven't let me down. So very interesting processor. They have sometimes a little bit too bad reputation for what they actually deserve, the FX processors. The story with the FX is this: they maintain today very high frame rates, even compared to modern CPUs. They come very close to CPUs of a couple of years ago. The frame rates is very high with these CPUs. The only problem is the frame times and the minimum frame rates, they have stutters in it. So you can have a very high frame rate, but if you look at the minimums, then they can sometimes drop all of a sudden for a microsecond to very low frame rates, and then you get a little bit micro stutter. So while they can reach very high frame rates even today, they only have micro stutters in it. So that's why it's not nice to play with them at all, because there's just all the time that the 1% lows all of a sudden gets really bad, and then you just have all the time a sensation. While the frame rate is really high, there's all the time a little micro stutters in there, so that takes all the smoothness away, and it seems like you're playing on a server with a lot of lag or something. Anyway, that's a little bit history of the AMD FX 8300. This one, the 8-core that I'm having since 2013. So running every day. I have self also another rig still, that is a Ryzen 8500 X3D with also a Quadro graphics card. It's the GeForce NVIDIA Quadro, what is that? K2200, which is basically a GeForce 750 Ti, a GTX 750 Ti, but then not with 2 gigs, but with 4 gigabytes of DDR5 video memory, and that's my gaming rig. I keep my streaming audio production and gaming rig, I want to keep them separate. They are different PCs, and I don't want to have all the clutter I have here connected for streaming and making YouTube videos and audio production, having all this gear here, mixing tables and controllers and stuff, and analog gear all connected to my gaming PC. So I have different PCs for that. On this 8300 here, we're having an NVIDIA Quadro FX 580 with 512 megabytes, also a workstation card with 512 megabytes we have over here, and 2 SSDs of Kioxia. So there you go. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed it. A little bit explanation about the AMD FX 8300. Some people ask me and they make fun of me that I'm still running this processor, but I make all my stuff on the channel and I do still gaming with this. All the games, of course, modern games don't go on this computer anymore. But for many other tasks, it still serves me mighty fine. And it's really not that bad processor. All things considered, and its age also. It is a model from 2013, so 2012-13, the 8300 line came out. So, but there you go. Hope you guys enjoyed with a little bit of MX Linux over here, how you can configure and tweak it a little bit. You can go, of course, much further, but here you have some basic settings to change your teaming in your desktop. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. Until the next time, stay safe, take care. I'll catch you in the next video.